Est-ce que tu es prêt à filmer? C'est bon? Okay. Good afternoon. I've been asked to be very on time, and considering what I do, it's pretty much important. I'm going to ask you one question today. Are you going to choose the blue pill, or are you going to choose the red pill?
I haven't seen Matrix. I haven't seen the movie.
He hasn't seen the movie. We have a bad start for the presentation. The blue pill is about staying on the path of stress that has only one outcome, burnout. The red pill is about discovering how you can come out of that path and find the real way to break the vicious cycle, become more productive and have a better and less stressed life. So this is what we're going to talk about today. Good afternoon. My name is Philippe Masson. I am the CEO of Ilio. We are operating across Europe, in France, Switzerland, in the UK. We also have an office in the US, and we help managers to live a more productive and happier life. We have one philosophy: productivity inspires happiness. But today, what I want to talk to you about is how productivity is in fact the way to become more, to have a less stressful life, and in fact to break the cycle of burnout. So we're going to go through those three different points. We're going to talk briefly about burnout. What is it? How does it operate? The second aspect, we're going to look at productivity. And thirdly, we're going to see, and I'm going to tell you, the 4 axes of development that will help you to become more productive. Okay? So let's start with understanding burnout. And I'm going to take you back to 2001. So at the time, I was already bold, but I was in denial. Okay? But 2001 was a big year for me. I was appointed for the first time at the board of directors of a big French company, and I thought I made it. I thought I had the best career. I thought I would be the best in France. But suddenly, it became evident that it was not going to be that easy. I had to travel a bit more. My team was getting bigger, more responsibilities. And at the same time, I got married. I got a child. I got financial responsibilities. And suddenly those two worlds were colliding into something that became uncontrollable. And I struggled. I struggled to be a good boss. I struggled to be a good employee. But I also struggled to be a good husband, a good father. And the sad story, and it's just a very common story, is I ended up in a divorce. But I thought at the time, it cannot be the answer. It cannot be the answer that you have to choose between a career and having a balanced life. It cannot be the answer. So I decided to really work around the concept of productivity and the concept of well-being and find out what would be the recipe. And that's what I'm going to share with you. Now, my story on 2001 is basically the story that many people go through, and that's the steps of burnout. You start by thinking that everything is amazing, you're very enthusiastic about your work, you find that you can do, you have the superpowers. And then you come into a phase where you start having a little bit of stress, where things becomes a bit more pressurized. And this is where you need to really look at the signals, anxiety, the signals of irritability, and these are the key elements. Because then this is a road straight down to burnout, where you go through chronic stress, where you go through burnout, and then you have the next phase, which is really dangerous, which is a phase where you are just get used to the burnout and you don't even realize that you're in it, and you're just functioning there. And this is where all your environment can collapse around you. So those 5 steps, I can tell you that I went through all of them, and this is not a good place to be. But this story has a very interesting rationale, which comes from a fabulous analysis from an American institute who analyzed how much time do you spend with yourself, by yourself, with your partner, with your family, with your children, with your friends, and with your co-workers during your lifetime. And what is really interesting is this period of 28 to 50, roughly, is the period where your life becomes more complex, where the requirements in terms of interactions become really difficult to maneuver. And this is why we have so many of our managers who just can't deal anymore with the pressure that comes from work, but also the pressure that comes from home. And this is what we decided to do to help them on a very practical level to come out of this period stronger. Now, the faces of burnout, we all know these people. You might even be one of them. The team leader with young children that arrives at the office always tired. We're going to talk about the newly promoted managers who suddenly find the job being a little bit too big. The project leader that is struggling with time management and is always behind. We know also the leaders who can't deal with emails. You know those people who have 150 to 100 emails and they always wear that almost like a badge of honor. We also have this guy in our organization, the manager that is always back-to-back meeting, can't be seen, we can't meet with them, always busy. These are examples of people who are basically on the track to stress, to burnout, because it's really hard to handle that pressure. What you would have noticed in these profiles of people, that they all had something in common. No one will tell you that they are stressed because they don't know what to do. They got their job, they're professional, they know what they have to do. No one is stressed about the how to do it, because you have been trained to do what you have to do. And if you don't know how to do it, you go on YouTube and someone will tell you how it works, so that's no problem. Now, the stress that you will live at work and at home will come exclusively from your ability to manage the when. Your ability to know when you're going to do the things. Doing a job is doing a job. Doing a job when you only have 5 minutes to deliver it, that's where your stress level comes up. So taking back control of the when is going to be the recipe for you to be able to actually take back control of your life. Now, in terms of understanding productivity, it's going to be very important to understand what I mean by productivity. I mean your ability to do things during the 24 hours that are given to you every single day. And it's a choice to make that what you're going to do with those 24 hours. Are you going to do work? Are you going to do hobbies, time with friends? Are you do some more romantic dinners? It's up to you. And your ability to be productive is your ability to do what you want to do and what you need to do. But to be able to control what you are going to do with those 24 hours that are given to you every single day. This is what we call at Avilio personae productivity, which is persona in plural in Latin. And the idea is that we want you to be the best of yourself in all your personalities. To be the best boss, the best manager, to be the best colleague, to be the best partner, the best husband, the best father, son. How are you going to be the best at that? Because all these personae require time for you to be the best at it. Requires for you to invest and take control. And this is how we capture it. Basically, to take control of your productivity, you need to take control of those two dimensions. Is in the personal world and the professional world, you need to be able to identify what is it you need to do to be the best at it, and what is it you want to do to enjoy it. So if we take some concrete examples, I am a father, I have 3 children. Part of my job of being a father and being productive as being a father is to go to the train station every single evening to pick up the girls. This is what I need to do. And I need to be organized to make that happen. And guess what? There is no surprise. It happens every single evening of the week. So I don't need to be stressed about it. It is what it is. And I need to embrace the activity and make it happen. So be able to plan your life by really identifying what is it you are supposed to do, what you want to do, and what you need to do is what's going to help you find your productivity element. Now, how do we unlock that and how do we make sure you actually make it happen? Now, we're going to work around 4 axes of development. The first one is time management. No surprise there. It's your ability about getting the maximum power from that. Now, what's interesting is, why do we actually care, or why is it important to do time management, to know what we're doing? And when you reflect on it, there is one key element, which is to achieve the peace of mind. And the best way to realize what is not peace of mind is to find out that you know you have something to do, but you don't know when you're going to do it. Very recently, I had to get a French passport for my daughters. I knew I had to do it. My stress didn't come from the fact of knowing how to do it. Didn't come from that. It didn't come from the what to do. I knew exactly what to do. I had to deal with the French embassy. But my stress was coming from my inability to say, when am I going to do it? And only when I decided to block the time, organize the meetings with the French, that I suddenly achieved the peace of mind that it was going to happen. Time management is about achieving peace of mind. Okay? The second element about the axis of development in time management is you need to be people of your word. You know this old-fashioned concept of you are a woman or a man of your word. When you say something, you actually deliver. And you are only capable to do that if you are capable to actually plan, commit, and execute. And do it all the time. This inability to commit makes you reactive. This inability to be able to plan all your activities makes you always in a world of reactivity. You need to take back control, be proactive. The second element associated to time management is focus. We need to get rid of all our distractions. And what is really interesting is the opposite of distraction, the literal opposite of distraction is the word traction. And when you consider a distraction as an element that you are not in control of, if you can turn it into traction as a practical element, making it as you have decided to do that, then it changes the game. An example, emails. It is your choice to be distracted by inbound emails. So how are you going to turn that into attraction, making sure that you are actually in control of your activity? Little tip for the day is get rid of your notifications. These are just distractions that takes you away from what you are currently doing. Who knows what is an email or in this notification, who is telling you that it is more important that you are currently doing? Nothing. So we're going to really work around this aspect of distraction. Another element, I love this expression in English, is when in the room, be in the room. When you are in a meeting with someone, you don't pick up the phone to take another call. When you are with your colleague and having one-to-ones, you're going to be focusing on your colleagues. But let's do that the same thing when you are with your children. Let's be with our children, let's put the phones away. When you're in the room, be in the room. Focus on exactly what you're doing right now. Don't look at what's next, live in the moment. This is a key element of distraction. And finally, we talked about it, anticipate the distraction. You know you will receive emails every single day. No surprise here. You know you're going to have 50 to 100 emails every single day. Now, it's up to you to decide how you're going to organize yourself to manage them. but there is no surprise. You can anticipate the fact that you will have to deal with them. Book your time to manage your emails. Don't be reactive. Proactivity is the key. Okay? Now, what's interesting here, we've talked about you, the ability to manage your time, the ability to focus as an individual. But these two people here, first of all, show of hand, do we know them? Right. This guy here is John Donne. Come on, what did John Donne say? John Donne said, "No man is an island." And then this guy is a French guy, Jean-Paul Sartre. And he said, hell is other people. Maybe because he's a big grumpy Frenchman, but that's another discussion. But what are they telling us? They are telling us that you can be as organized as you want, you can be as rigorous as you want. If you are not capable to deal with other people, they're gonna mess it up. Other people are gonna mess it up. So it is imperative for you to become productive, not only to be able to manage your own time, but to be able to manage other people and how you're gonna manage those requests that are coming and messing all up. Okay? How do we do that? First element, we work around collaboration. And we're gonna foster this element, which is we are a team, we're working together. We're gonna work around the concept of respect. If I want you to respect my time, I'm gonna respect your time. I'm gonna respect my time when I'm with my boss, but I'm gonna respect the time that I have with my wife the same way I respect the time that I have with my boss. I would not cancel a meeting with my boss, would you? You would not do that. Why would you cancel when it's with your wife? Why would you be more permissive when it is in a private sphere? No, we are people of our word. We gave our word. We're going to respect it, and that is going to be the key element here. We're going to assume positive intent. We're going to be always in an approach where I'm going to try to work with you. When I'm going to ask you something, we're going to work in the concept that I'm here to help you to do it. And finally, we're going to take responsibility. Let's not blame everybody else for our situation and focus on what we can control. Take back the responsibility. What is really interesting, we know these people, I'm sure nobody here is this kind of people, is I'm sending an email to someone asking something, and then 2 weeks later this person has not responded, and then we just say, oh, he hasn't responded, he's rubbish. No. It's your fault. If you have not followed up, if you have not made sure the individual has actually answered your email, it is your fault if they have not answered. Take responsibility, take ownership until you have executed what you wanted to do. So that's the collaboration aspect. The fourth one is we need to develop a proactive mindset. Let's stop being reactive, let's stop being on the back foot, let's be on the front foot all the time and being proactive. So that means shifting from a reactive behavior, anticipate the unexpected. Yes?
As an example of shifting from reactive to proactive.
So the question here is, how do we have an example from shifting from reactive to proactive? Emails inbound, reactive. I'm answering to all emails that are coming in. I'm going to have a proactive approach. I'm going to book time to manage my emails when I decide to do it. Another example, I'm going to a meeting. You can decide to be on the reactive and be at the receiving end of whatever actions are given in the meeting. Or you can decide, you know what, I know I'm going to have a meeting. I'm going to proactively book my debrief time to make sure that I can take anything that comes in the meeting. I'm not on the back foot, I'm on the front foot. Anticipate the unexpected. Emails. Everybody tells me that, oh, I've got so many emails, it's so unexpected. Now we know it happens all the time. We know that 80% of our job happens the same way. You know what's going to happen to you most of the time, but you make the choice not to plan it. This is where we want to really take control and again take responsibility. And the resilience to adapt, what we want to make sure is we have agreed that you can be as organized as you want, they will mess it up. The other people will mess it up. You just need to make sure you know how to cope with that, because it will happen. Your boss will come here and say, hey, do this. Okay? What it shouldn't do is stress you. Being busy is different from being stressed. It's normal to be busy because we are full-time employed, full-time employees. The clue is in the title. If you are full-time employees, you are supposed to work all day. And guess what? You should have a work tomorrow as well, all day. So it is normal to be busy. What is not normal is to be stressed about it. So this is how we're going to cope and put in place the mechanism to be able to deal with that pressure. I'm busy, I know what I'm doing, and I'm going to do it. Does it make sense so far? So what we've seen, in fact, is the concept of time management and collaborations are, in fact, the two faces of the same coin, which is the concept of productivity and achievement. By the way, one of the also very important idea that we've lost is your happiness, your well-being comes from this feeling at the end of every single day to be able to say, you know what, I had a good day. I did everything I said I was going to do, and that's enough. And I think we have forgotten the fact that your work can last forever because you are full-time employed. But being able to do exactly what you said you're going to do and deliver it is what's going to make you happy. Good job. You've done a good job today. You can go home and spend time with your family. Okay? Now, the thing that we've talked about here, these are the big concepts, but it's not easy. There is no magic trick. There is no top tips to find the solution. We go through this kind of activity through programs. There are 8-week programs where we're going to give you all the techniques to do that. But because we don't trust you, we're going to coach you to make sure you actually implement it and make sure that it's a sustainable change. 8 weeks, it's not easy. These conversations are sometimes very personal, but it is the way to go through the journey. Now the good news is it's never too late. We have worked with people who are very wise like me, who might have lost their hair and a bit grey, like here Matt. It's never too late because it's a choice, because it's a matter of you proactively taking back control of your life. And it's certainly not too early. Okay? So now here is the question. Have you going to decide to go on the blue one, or are you going to have the red one and decide to take control of your life? This idea is very key. It's a choice. Let's not be victims. We are actors of our lives. We make the choice. Unfortunately, we've not been necessarily equipped for it over the years. We are never trained about it. But it is key that you make the choice first. I want to take back control. So your journey on the path of productivity starts on stand R262 over there, or if you're based in Switzerland, in France, in the UK, or in the US, we can also do that together. We have different programs. We can talk about those ones. Thank you very much for your attention. And I hope I want to open the floor if you have any more questions about the program. Please don't hesitate. Thank you. Any question? Oh, it's French. I'm a bit disappointed because I've been trying to hide it for so many years. I even had classes on it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.